Howdy all, this is Shane and I'm here to show you the difference, in my opinion, between a 52 reissue Telecaster by Fender versus a Squier Classic Vibe. And this is a 50s Telecaster. So as you can probably tell, they look extremely similar, and if you're not familiar with guitars, you probably wouldn't know the difference between them. You'd probably say it's the same guitar, but one's newer than the other or whatever. One's made in China, being the Squier Classic Vibe, and these, in my opinion, are the best cheap guitars in the world. You just can't beat them. Everything about them is good. They play and sound fantastic, and they feel really good to play. And this is a United States made Fender Telecaster, and you're paying for not only the name, but quality and American craftsmanship. So I'm going to take you through and show you what I think of each guitar, and we'll take it from there. So this is the Fender Telecaster 52 reissue. I picked this up several years ago at Haight Street Music in San Francisco, and it's been my go-to guitar for a number of years. Being that I'm left-handed, I didn't have a lot of basis for comparison at the time. It was either get one of these or get a Mexican Tele. I couldn't find a US standard Tele anywhere that I went while I was in the US that particular year. So I was pretty much like, when I saw this, I was blown away and I thought, this is the greatest Telecaster ever. So I picked it up and I played it to death. And you may notice that I've changed the pickups in here. So I changed these to Joe Barton pickups from the standard single coil pickups that I didn't like at all. If you're a vintage guy, you might like them, but the neck pickup had treble roll off to simulate the type of pickups and wiring of their time. I had that modded straight away back to a regular type of sound, and the bridge pickup was single coil as well. These pickups sound pretty much single coil, except they don't buzz or anything, and I like that in a guitar. I think that's really cool. The stock pickups that were in here squealed almost any time I kicked on a pedal with a little bit of gain, and that was just one of those things. So I got rid of them and I put these in, and I was happy as Larry, so to speak. But what I noticed over the years was these vintage frets just, what can I say, they wear out fairly fast. If it's your only instrument, you're going to go through frets really quickly. And one thing that I didn't notice so much until recent times was the fact that some of the frets actually choke out. And that's a characteristic of this type of neck profile and frets and all that kind of stuff. I know a few guys that have had these guitars over the years, and the reason they sold them was because of this. Let's have a look at my Squier. We'll do exactly the same thing and see if it does it. I'm not plugged in right now, but as you can hear, it just doesn't choke out, so that's pretty cool. That was something that I tried straight away. As soon as I tried my Squier, I thought to myself, if it chokes out, I'm not going to buy it. Even though I love this guitar, it's one of those things, I have a love-hate relationship with it. It sounds good. So while the neck feels fantastic, I just don't like the vintage frets like this, and I don't like the fact that it chokes out in a lot of different spots. Just everywhere above 12. It's just, yeah. There's another spot. And that's not even like full step bends either. Look at that. It's just, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible to play. And that's a $1,500 or thereabouts $1,500 Telecaster made in the US. I guess it's true to the original spec, so if you are a nostalgic kind of guy and you want to get something that, you know, references kind of that old vibe, then go for it. I mean, it does sound good now that I've put new pickups in. So these pickups were about $400 as well. So all in all, this cost me $2,000 with the pickups, and you get a beautiful tweed case with it as well. You get all that stuff. And I had to change the pots as well because the pot on the guitar was faulty. So I don't know, I spent maybe, yeah, $2,000. It stays in tune really well. It sounds good, it works fine, finally. So we're gonna take a look at my Squier. So this is the Squier. It weighs, I'd say roughly the same. It's maybe a little heavier. It's a pine body, and It's quite a bright guitar as well, Unplugged, which is a little bit different to this one, which to my ear doesn't sound quite as bright. So maybe not as acoustically loud, and I think that translates over to the tone when you're plugged in. Yeah, that's probably 20% louder and maybe 20-30% brighter to my ear. I do have a condenser microphone on the camera that's on the close-up, so hopefully that can capture some of that. So yeah, let's look at this. It looks pretty similar. The stock pickups are still in here, so I'm still using the stock pickups that came with it, and I have no intention of changing these. I think they sound so much better than the stock pickups I had in my 52. They maybe don't sound like the Joe Bardens, but they sound like the real deal Telecaster. The neck's not quite as fat either, so if you're into fat necks, you may not like this neck as much, but it feels great to play. Like I said, no choke outs. It has larger frets on here as well. The neck finish is fantastic. Let's compare the two now. So as you can probably see, they are a little bit different to each other. The US one is on the top here, and it has a different finish. But that said, you know, if you run your fingers over it, there's not much of a difference in the way it feels. So that's a good thing. And the finish on the body is a little different too. It's sort of like a slightly less gloss finish on the 52, or maybe it's just because I've worn this out. As you can see, there's a few black spots on the finish around here and here where I've actually worn the guitar out through use. I haven't had that relicked or anything. It's just the way that it is. Whereas this one is more of a high gloss finish. It's maybe not as yellow looking. You can see more of the wood, which I kind of like that as well. I think it looks really good. And yeah, it makes it sound nice and bright, which is another great feature of a Telecaster. Just to go over what I liked about this, it played really well. It had bigger frets. It looked like my 52, so it was a very, very familiar look. The middle position is actually hum cancelling on the pickup selection switch, which makes things very good if you're in a really annoying venue or whatever where you're trying to play and you're just getting that single coil buzz. It has the vintage sort of 3-saddle bridge here, which I like. It's maybe not as nice looking as the one on my Fender, but that can be replaced if I ever chose to do that. But like I said, if it sounds good, it is good. And I don't have any problems with this at all. So this guitar feels great, and that's one thing that you either like or dislike about guitars when you pick them up. I think it plays and feels every bit as nice or better than my 52 Reissue because of the fact it doesn't choke out, and I can reliably bend on here without having that problem. The frets feel better. The neck's maybe not quite as nice in the hand, and I only say that because of the thickness. I like thicker necks a little more.